Our second post-impeachment story tonight is from Oregon, where two senators are appearing in public together. Lee Hochberg of Oregon Public Broadcasting reports.
It's been a bleak winter on the Oregon coast. 65 inches of rain have fallen in Astoria, a timber and fishing town of 10,000 at the mouth of the Columbia River. Last night, the clouds lifted for a while. Residents came to a town hall to hear their US senators tell how the nation might get out from under the cloud caused by impeachment.
It's like dwelling on World War II. It's all over. Or Korea or Vietnam.
We've got a lot of serious issues that affect average, everyday Americans, and we need to address those issues.
Oregon's two senators, Gordon Smith, a conservative Republican, and Ron Wyden, a liberal Democrat, are on an unusual bipartisan odyssey around the state. They're trying to heal the wounds of impeachment and chart a post-impeachment course for Oregon.
I think, frankly, after all the toxic partisanship that we've seen back in Washington, D.C., this is really the way we ought to be doing business.
We're trying to set a good example for all of our 98 other colleagues. We think it's important to say that there are things we can agree on.
The two disagreed on impeachment. Republican Smith voted to remove President Clinton from office. Democrat Wyden voted to acquit. But they found in Astoria, as they found at earlier town halls in Portland and Eugene, little interest in Washington's debate.
The young families in Oregon need more help, and they need more tax credits.
There's 30 kids in my class right now, and right now we have a pretty small room, so pretty much the desks are right next to each other. And I was wondering if you're doing anything to set limits on how many kids in each classroom.
We need to bypass, and they need to bypass all the way down to through Seaside. We have to have it. We're going to have gridlock, totally.
Several in the 120 who gathered asked how the proposed dredging of the Columbia River would affect the crabbing industry and how proposed removal of hydroelectric dams might affect salmon runs.
Going back to fish again, here in Astoria, you're going to talk about fish.
It shows that there's a huge gap between what consumes Washington, D.C. and what consumes people in their living rooms and coffee shops and places they gather outside the Beltway.
In the 90-minute meeting, residents asked about transportation, tourism and taxation, the environment, education, mental health, fishing, and the year 2000 bug.
And I'd like, on behalf of both of us, to express that never once tonight have any of you brought up impeachment.
I'd rather talk about dam removal than presidential removal. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to be home, and it's wonderful to be here talking about issues that affect your lives.
Republican Smith says his constituents clearly want Congress to move on.
Thank you, Larry.
But after the meeting, he made it clear to them that as when Abe Lincoln engaged the country in the unpopular Civil War, this war for high moral standards was worth fighting.
I'm very much at peace with my vote.
I think you got it right.
I think history will vindicate it, but we'll see.
Oh, history will vindicate it. I feel that.
You didn't see one person raise this issue publicly because they're embarrassed about it and they're tired of it. But afterwards, I probably had a half dozen people come up and thank me for my vote. So that does tell you that they do care about it.
At the end of the day, I come to the conclusion that they just don't want to see people in politics spend so much time talking about matters that are removed from them.
I appreciate you guys working together.
Thanks a lot.
The senators plan to appear tonight, tomorrow, and Friday at other town halls across the state.